Welcome once again, everyone, to Glider Gaming Channel and the Rustic Dreamland. Last time we finished our power plant and we decided it's time for those exosuits, so we are building our exosuit forge now. Over here we see we have an engineer. I think he is, oh yeah, it'll tell us what he's doing. He is using the fabricate, which means basically he's adding a microchip that will make this more efficient, create more power for less coal. So that's the cool thing about having a power plant room. Power plant room, yeah, they just upgrade generators to improve their power production. This will probably eventually be another exosuit area for us. We might have to move this, but if we make 16 exosuits, we probably won't need it anymore. I can't imagine really needing many more than 16. That would let everyone we currently have in the colony leave the colony at their leisure. So we are just about to the point where this pump will no longer be able to access water. So I think one of the next things besides exosuits that we need to do is we need to get clean water. Oh, we're done researching. We need to get clean water set up for the long term for our oxygen production. So everything is done except this chain here. So I'm going to tell them to research all the way up to here. Then when they've researched all of this, less that orange spacefaring technology, we'll research this as much as we can. And then we'll deconstruct our research stations because they are creating heat for the base. So this doesn't, unless there's a large reservoir of water off screen we can't see, this is not going to take care of our oxygen needs for now. We're going to have to use this water. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our plumbing here that we've ran across the top of our base, and we're just going to continue that over. And in the same way, we're going to deconstruct this tile right here. We're going to connect these tiles right here. We're just going to build a liquid bridge to combine those two water sources so that we don't disrupt the water flow. And eventually we're going to have to parallel that over here. As well. No rush to have any of that done because there's not going to be any water coming from that direction for quite some time. Well, quite some time. For some time until we finish all this. Alright, they are getting soppy wet from coming through these areas. So maybe we should just build some floor for them to walk on. We can also mop up these areas that aren't actually needing to be water. Right, they got that forge built. So we're going to tell them to build. We'll build 20 suits. That way we just are good to go for a while. We have 30 tons of copper. We have 27 reed fibers. So we'll actually only be able to get 10 suits plus a couple. We won't be able to get all 20. It used to be just one reed fiber for those, but... Oh, we broke that tile without actually emptying it, so a little bit of water spilled. We have plumbers, we could have thought about that, but it's fine. It's not a significant amount of water. It might eventually turn into steam. No, it's only 42 degrees and won't turn into steam. On the food front, we are basically where we want to be. I'm going to let it go just a little longer to make sure that all of this is thick CO2. And then we'll be all set. But we can kind of start taking care of some of this stuff. I'm gonna leave that one, but I'm gonna build these here. Okay, so bedroom-wise, we don't quite have the bedroom situation we want. I don't want any of these bedrooms here. So maybe I'll turn this area up here into bedrooms, or maybe we'll go down one layer. I'll turn this area right here into bedrooms. That shouldn't be a tile. So we've got 15. So I'll build more bedrooms than we need, because we will take more dupes eventually. So let's see here. This is the edge, so that can be a door. That's our door, then right there. Separate by 3, separate by 3. So let's see, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that'll get us, like, I probably will never take more than 22 dupes, like 24 tops. So this will set us up for a while. You do hit the point with dupes where, like, you don't have anything for them to do. Because, like, you kind of stop doing stuff inside your base at a point. And then if you only have 16 exosuits, that means if you have 24 dupes, 8 of them just literally can't leave the base. Okay, I really need the base not to be exposed to other biomes, so I need this stuff done. Get to it, boys and girls and thems and theys. I have exactly 16 seeds. We could just build more seeds. Eventually we'll use them as well. 20. So 22 seats. Oh, printables. A hatch would not bother me at all. And I'm still not ready for a new dupe, so we'll take a hatch. Starvation? Well, that's just silly. Unless someone's trapped somewhere where they'll die, then they might be starving. Luckily, you know, if this was a slime biome and we were letting in a lot of germs, this would be a big issue, but it's really just a heat issue. So it's not a huge deal. We are also just letting oxygen escape out into the wild, so that's kind of annoying. Oh, we don't really need to be using algae to create oxygen anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some automation for an Atmos sensor. We're just going to toss it right here and right here. We're just going to automate this so that if there's not enough oxygen, they'll turn on, but when there is enough oxygen, we just don't. Because like, we're at 1,500 grams of oxygen. They don't really need to be running. We're just burning algae that we may need later in an emergency. And we're creating heat that we really just don't want to be creating. Awesome. Uh-oh, wrong element damage. Oh, goodness. Okay, bad things are happening in here. Okay, we're going to do a little bit more automation in here, too. Gaseous element sensor. If you don't detect that you have oxygen, you're not going to pump. You guys can come back in. You're also going to mop up this water since you're coming in here. Oh, we ran out of water. What? How did we run out of water? Oh, because we stopped giving them water. So we need to bump that up. We're going to bump it up to an 8. So that's annoying. We've already broken several of them. So you really don't want to break these. If you don't have a geyser of refined metal like me, like that's a huge burden to create more refined metal to fix these. You really just don't want them to break in the first place. What you can do is you can filter that so that you never have to deal with it. That's probably the smartest thing you can do is just filter it. Yeah, they're all broken now. But this will be a less intensive use of electricity, just telling them not to pump until they have the right element in place. We burned through all of our excess, so it's a good thing that if we hadn't set this all up to be able to be powered by the main trunk, we would have had to turn this back on to start this up again. So that's one of the things long term. If you have this on its own unique power system and something like this happens, then you have to add energy back in to get it started again. And sometimes you don't realize that until you've run out of oxygen and people are about to die, so it can be a big problem. So that's why I like to put it on my main trunk now, just so that we can still create oxygen if we give it the raw ingredients to do so. We don't need any dupe labor that may not be possible. I'm going to jump these up to 6s. I'm going to jump this up to 7s just so that we can get them done and out of there again. That liquid did spill out over to here. So they have repaired those. And then saying there's two problems. One problem is there's no checkpoint. One problem is there's actually no suit. So they are making suits. They've made 6 of them. So we can tell them to come in here and deliver the suit. Another setting with these is actually on this. When they build this, you'll be able to say anyone can pass by this and take off their suit, or people may only pass by this if they have a place to put a suit. You definitely want the second option. If, like, I dig all the way around my base and people leaving this door can get all the way back over to here, you'd want it to say only allow people to pass if they can put their suit away. Otherwise, they'll drop their suits and they'll never make it back to the original spot, and then you'll have to constantly be manually telling people to deliver suits. So we've run out of reed fibers. That seemed fast. Okay, we've got reed fibers again. That was weird. Okay, we're making oxygen again. So we come in here and we tell this we want it to be oxygen, so that if it is oxygen, it says go ahead, and if it's not oxygen, it says stop. That way we're not pumping bad gases. You know, bad air quotations. All gases are good in this game. They all serve a purpose. But we're not pumping gases that could potentially damage things. So this, I can see now that it is well overflowed. So we are where we want to be as far as storing stuff in CO2 goes. Okay, we've got all that stuff built, so that's great. The temperature of this water is rising a bit. It's now up to like 26 instead of where it started at 22. So that's just going to happen over time when you're adding heat to stuff. But we're still getting our oxygen coming out at 28 degrees. So at a reasonable temperature. Okay, all that's done. So I'm going to turn off their permission so they can't go in there to breathe and let gases in it exchange. Perfect. And that one's turned off because there's not enough density to pump. Things are going okay up there. I'm gonna toss all those up to 6. Oxygen is now actually making it into there. Little bits of hydrogen are still coming. If this continues to be a problem, I will throw a filter down, but it looks like it's sorted itself out. Oh, they got quite a few of these built, so we can, yeah, we should have taken that fungal spore. So we do not actually have enough spores to take care of all these new ones we built. I'll go ahead and bump all this up to 6 too. Alright, all of these are built now. So there we go. Our first person is out in the wild in a suit. Now he can go wherever he wants and he can't be hurt. So that's great. We're getting there. We're doing stuff. That's now running. So you can see all this steam here is slightly different color than oxygen, and then the water's falling out of the steam. So now that we have exosuits, we can get down there pretty quickly and efficiently. And we'll be able to start collecting that water for using it in other spots. I'm going to come in here and we're going to take care of this. It's not as big of a deal now, but it is a resource we could be using. So we're going to build a pump at the lowest place. We will power that pump. If I run... that was early on for the derps. If I run that through actual floors, they will dig that out. If it's not, you know, like a floor tile. So we don't want to do that. And then plumbing. I don't really need this. Yeah, I do want this insulated because if the water gets too cold, it'll freeze. So this will give us a little buffer on that. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to build a liquid filter. It's going to go in there. And then I don't want it right there. Plumbing liquid filter. So we'll choose one to be an output, and we're probably going to do that clean water. So clean water is going to come out. And I don't really have a reservoir for clean water right now. So we're going to send this clean water over here. Just like we did on the other side. We're just going to patch it in together. So those two are going to come into a liquid bridge. It's going to come into a liquid bridge. And that's going to come into a liquid bridge. Okay, so those are going to combine into a liquid bridge. So I need to deconstruct that pipe right there. Once it's deconstructed, I have to reconstruct it so that it's not patched in. But I do need to build it like right now so that things continue to work. So this does not need to be 5, it can be 7. We did spill a little water, which is a problem down here because mushrooms can't grow in water. Oh, shoot. We do actually need to build these pipes too. All those pipes need to be built. Oh, there's our liquid gold. That's exciting. Okay, so we did the clean part. So now we're going to do the same deal over here with the polluted stuff. So we're going to build the bridge. It's going to go up there, into there, and over to there. Choose the insulated liquid pipe to deconstruct. And then we just need to build all that jazz. Priority 9. They are not doing it. They are doing other things. Priority, get it done. You are priority 7. We are still spilling water down here, which is annoying, but we will be pumping it soon. Oh my gosh, this is taking so long. Just build it. Why is it taking so long to build it? They're picking up water instead of building this stuff. I just want you to build the stuff. They're not going to get any sleep tonight. It's going to create stress. Jeez, May's at 80% stress? That's kind of crazy. May, why are you so stressed? You have no morale. That's weird. How did she jump down that far? She's hungry. Probably because she hasn't eaten yet today. She's not sleeping. So they still need to work a little bit. Like, people are staying awake. Like, no one's allowed to sleep when you're on high alert until the high alert things are done. But everyone's awake doing tasks that aren't the high alert tasks. And we just peed, so that's great. Okay, so it's not perfect yet. It's not perfect. You all should go to bed and do stuff. Oh my gosh, nobody used the bathroom during their bathroom breaks. So be careful with that, guys. Be careful. We'll take some hatch eggs. Worst case scenario, their food. Yep. So it's like, it's not such a big deal that like I need to mop this up now, except of my OCD. Because they're in exosuits, they're not going to get sloppy, wet feet and stuff, debuffs. Because the suit protects them from those kinds of debuffs. Okay, water flow has been restored over here and now over here. Okay, so our new infrastructure is no longer disrupting our systems, so that's good. Oh, May hit 100% stress. That's not great. So now she's activating her stress problem. Some people are crazy eaters, and they'll just like eat and eat and eat. Other people will damage your buildings, and they'll just go and they'll beat them with wrenches until they're destroyed. She is a stress vomiter, so she is making polluted nastiness. I guess it's not germy. Once she's done doing it, she will go back down to like 60% stress. But then her stress will start rising again if we haven't addressed the underlying reason why she was so stressed in the first place. But that was mainly because she didn't eat, she got hungry, she didn't get sleep, she also didn't, and because she wasn't eating in here, she wasn't getting her boost to morale. So her morale dropped terribly. Okay, so she's done, so she went back down to 60. Check out the oxygen situation. So, as I told you when we built this, it's splitting. It's saying right here, 50% go this way, 50% go this way, then 50% this way and that way, 50% this way and that way. This one filled up all the way because it's broken, so it's just nobody's taking the suit out to drain it. They're using these other suits, so they're being drained. But eventually, all of them will fill up with oxygen, and then we won't pump as much oxygen out of this line, and there'll be more oxygen for the base. That's building back up again, so that's cool. Catalina's a little stressed out. It'll all regulate now that they're sleeping and eating and stuff again. So just be very, very cautious when you're using that craziness. Okay, we pumped off enough water that they can't actually use this anymore, so we're going to break it up and build it lower. So now what we'll do is we'll just build this through. We'll dig this out, and we'll go into water plumbing, and then just build a new one right here. Okay, we're hitting the point where this is about out, so we do need to finish up the system, the backup system we started. I think that's all we needed. If we look over here, we put that into the polluted water. We don't want that. We're gonna break that like 8. Okay. And then we're gonna patch it into the clean water line. Because we can't use polluted water. That will damage those and they will break. Oh, they won't be able to break that though. So we're gonna have to break this tile so they can get up there. See, dupes can only reach 2 tiles above their heads, so they won't actually be able to reach that tile to break it. I could either put scaffolding right there so they can reach it, or I can break this, and I'm fine with both situations. But the fact that I've made them priority 8 and they're like doing other stuff that I've made priority 7, you know, it's just, they could fix the priority system a little bit better, I'd say. But you know, they might be assigned. They have these queues now, so it's probably assigned. Right, so they deconstructed that, but now we have to build it again because we want it to tie in with that line. I'm marking that top one at 8, and then the lower one's at 7. Alright, they got that built. Now I can return this tile for heat protection. So they're saying that one's unreachable. So we'll break this tile, see if that helps them reach it. As I mentioned when they were building that tile, that can be the difficult tile for them to actually get to. We just might have to build another ladder too. I don't really know. I've never really figured out corner tiles. Plumbing wise, oh, we broke. So I remember what I told you guys. You click the tile you want to break. You don't just hit deconstruct, because we broke that tile and we broke everything underneath of it too. So I was like, we should probably be seeing water all the way up to here, but no, we are not. Oh, that was unintended. I didn't really think we'd create a weird loop like that. That's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. We also want to just sweep up all the places that dupes hang out, so they have that lovely decor effect. Okay, they've got all those built. That's still marked as unreachable, so we'll try a tile or ladder right there and see if that fixes it. Okay, they're coming over here to build the tile, or the ladder anyway. Okay, they got that built, and then, okay, great, they're jumping up there. Now we can build that guy, get our heat protection back. That should be everything we need to run the top of our base, so we can deconstruct all that now. I've been building all of my insulated tiles out of frickin' sandstone. That's not really what I was intending to do. Sandstone does not insulate quite as well, so you're gonna have more heat leaching. So I'm going to redo a couple of these pipes. I'm not going to redo the whole lines, but we're going to redo these. Just these ones here that are in the base that they can actually reach. Oh, and I'm redoing it in sandstone again. Goodness gracious. Unfortunately, since I didn't change anything, I don't think it did anything. But we're going to go like this. That's just going to protect our base. Like, when it sits in the pipes like it's doing, it probably will just leach heat anyway, but as long as water's moving, it should not let as much heat through. No. Oh, nope. Okay, so we got those pipes that are actually exposed to our base. When you're running pipes through the insulated tile, you get the insulated pipe bonus and the insulated tile bonus, so I'm not too worried about those. We did also, yep, we filled up everything, and we never told them to store stuff here, so we'll do that. I think we'll finally deconstruct these oddball tiles. Really don't need them anymore. Really don't need these ladders anymore either. So once again, I'm clicking them and deconstructing to prevent that issue we had a moment ago. And we don't really need these ladders over here anymore either. I'm deconstructing every other one because they'll be able to jump. Same over here. Flooding. Oh, so this is starting to melt. So let's find out why. It's still very cold in here, so I'm surprised that's melting. But yeah, up in here it's getting a little spicier, so it's alright. We aren't growing this anymore. So we need to clean that stuff up. New printable. We can get copper. I don't really need copper, but it's gonna, until I've got a firm handle on water, I don't want more dupes. Oh, we should be cooking food now. We've got power. We might as well cook food. So, we're going to have a power line for our food. It's also eventually going to be for our refrigeration stuff too. So we're going to bring this all the way down. We'll tie this one in right here. Then we'll bring this fella over. We'll power all this stuff off of him. Hey, we finally got this stuff built. So we only want this if it's below 500. Because this is our emergency system, so we don't have people suffocate inside our base. As opposed to this one that's above, so we only use it when there's, you know, tons of pressure. So there we go. We have a bunch of jobs mastered now. They're just not repairing that Atmo dock. It's fine. Whatever. We'll bump it up to 7. So we've got all the oxygen built up back here, because they use these last. They use the ones closest to the door first, so you're usually not going to have these full as quickly. But as it fills up, you know, all of the oxygen is going to be delivered this way, so it'll fill up even faster. Once again, we're just telling them to do too many things. Doing too many things. That was my mother. She's here visiting the baby. So they're just not getting things swept up, and they're not getting things built. You know, just if you can be more patient than I am, they will get the things you want done in a faster manner. Up here, our decor is okay, but we can make it better. What's our temperatures like? A little warmer. You know, it's in the yellows rather than the nice greens. So I'll probably leave that one to be a Wheezewort, and I'll leave that one to be a Wheezewort. So we'll make these Mirthleaf, because they can survive in hotter temperatures. And that'll boost the decor some more. No research assigned. So that's what it's going to say when you don't have enough research stations. So we'll let that go for a while. That's Liliana, if you can hear her. So then what I like to do is I have my raw ingredients stored in the CO2 near the grills. And then I'll put refrigerators up here near the mess hall. So the food that we actually want them to eat, they can access right right off that area. I believe they're too tall, so we'll just kind of go like this. So we'll go into food. We can start building fridges out of granite. And we'll just power the first couple ones. We don't need all of them right now. Okay, we were a little early on destroying these ladders. That ladder being built should fix the problem. Still haven't repaired that one. I'm a little surprised. It's not like they're shy on things they need to do. There's plenty of stuff to do in this base. And we're completely out of water there now, so let's just make sure the water situation got... Yep, perfect. We are supplying water from the other direction. I'm just barely getting some. So we can come in here. We can build that in, and then we can dig out around it. And just keep, you know, filling in our base. Actually, just in case we ever decide to get rid of it. Let's put airflow tiles there. Airflow tiles will not let water through, but mesh tiles will. Trying to figure out what's going on here. We've got, ooh, she's learning up to 10. That's neat. Downtime started. Building broken. Flooding. Same thing. Okay. Check in on our research here. Not quite done. So I do want to start cooking, so I'm going to kind of pump up that line a little higher on the priorities. We've got all of our bedrooms built now. We could do a little better with our decor stuff. So in past iterations before the quality of life, every time you built something, you'd have to double check the metal, because it would always seem like it defaulted to the metal that you had, or the material you had the most of. But now it tracks between gameplays and between building, and will always give you the same thing. So that's awesome for things you want to build out of granite. Oh, we could also have crown molding in here. How exciting. Look at all these Drecos. Where did they come from? Well, we took those Dreco eggs, didn't we? We probably didn't. Did we take Dreco eggs? I don't know. They probably hatched instead of turning into omelets. Oops. Okay, so our bedrooms are looking okay. Just a light green, but better than nasty like these bedrooms. There we go. Get those all cleaned up. Okay, we have power, folks. So we're gonna come in here, and let's start here. We don't want them storing things that are edible, unless it is a bristleberry, because we'll cook it, meat, because we'll cook it, or mushroom, because we'll cook it. So we're gonna copy that setting to all of these. And this, we want to only be edible. but we don't want bristleberries because they're not going to eat them. We want fried mushrooms and omelets. We want that to be at a 7 because we want that stuff in there. We don't want it just sitting around rotting. And then this is new too. It used to be like this could be your fried mushroom one, and this could be something else. You could only ever cook one thing. But now you can cook multiple things, and we'll just... I don't know how it prioritizes which one's going to cook, but like we can tell them to do these forever, and then when they run out, they'll start cooking something else if we tell them to. We don't really have the ability to make any of this other stuff except pickled meal, but it's -1 quality. Where's our consumables? And meal lice is -1, so it doesn't actually do anything for you. Like sometimes by doing something with it, you add like 1,800 kilocalories of one thing and then some of another, so you get more food than you started with. But this is a net food equivalent, and it doesn't get better quality. It stays at the same terrible quality, and we're not really worried about preservation because we do preserve our foods. So we'll go ahead and tell people to start cooking there. If we look at our priorities, oh, one of our cooks can't cook. We've got 2 cooks and 2 grills, so that'll work out well for us. And then in a cycle or two, we'll tell people stop eating mushrooms and only eat fried mushrooms. And then soon we'll get rid of meal lice, because meal lice was our early game, make sure we don't starve thing. It's -1 quality. It actually hurts morale. So we'd rather have people eating mushrooms and fried mushrooms. So soon we'll get rid of those. And we'll see, we are having stifling from chlorine because we have allowed enough CO2 to accumulate in our base. So we will soon have to start dealing with CO2. Alright, we've got basically everything swept up. We can't sweep up an egg, though. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. We're out of the reed fibers with 5 left to go. That's fine, because we told them to do 20, and we only have 16 dupes. So if they made one more, we could build the exosuits over here. Which I think we might as well. Let's plan it out. Why not? So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the checkpoint with the arrow pointing the direction we want it to. And then we'll just deactivate that because we're not ready to fuel that with oxygen, so. Okay, we finished the research on that one, so we'll do this one. Sorry about that. I had a cough. Alright, they're cooking up a storm. So now we have 13,000 kilocalories of fried mushroom. Not quite enough for a day's food. So we're gonna just leave that as it is until we have like 20,000 kilocalories of fried mushrooms. I'm gonna let them keep eating mushrooms so they don't starve. How are we looking for this steam vent stuff we told them to do? Not much is happening. Not much is happening over here either. So I want to see this happen. And then we'll come down here and start figuring this stuff out. Yeah, there's really just not much water down here. So there must be a reservoir of it kind of over here somewhere. So I'll be interested to see that probably next video. I don't think we'll get there this video. Also would like this to be mopped up so that that wheat, sleet wheat, can grow. That, yeah, we definitely need to get a pump built in there. So how are we going to do that? So this one doesn't create steam. So I think what we'll do is we'll put some blueprints right there. Some ladder right there. Put this like an 8. And this at 6. And this at 7. So we'll kind of build this up so the water can't spill out. And then they'll be able to climb down. And then we'll need one more ladder right there. And then they'll be able to get all the way over here. Then we can put a liquid pump. And piping. It's kind of warm, so we'll do the same deal we did over here. Tell them not to build that one now. So we're going to do the liquid bridge trick. We'll combine the water coming out of both of those, and we'll filter it since there's some polluted and some clean. Hello, Liliana. Are you going to dust? Have fun with those dusters. Lily just brought me some dusting and cleaning supplies. Then we'll need a little bit of power too. So then on the priority, we'll want these sections right here to go back up to 7. And that will allow us to start getting water out of here as well. That is just a lot of water. I mean, it's been like 40 cycles since we uncovered it, but that's good. It's good to have that source of water. All of our mushrooms are now planted. Plenty of CO2. No worries about running out of that. Slime is getting kind of low. 9 tons. I mean, 9 tons is a lot, but eventually, like I said, we might do some luxury apartments over here, so we'll have plenty of slime. I'm not worried about slime. Still draining out over here. Need to get this built so we can get this out so it doesn't drain into other spots we don't want it. Luckily, reed fibers, thimble reeds, can grow underwater. Otherwise, that would be an issue we'd address. Honestly, this water being here has probably stopped this heat from getting out, so that's kind of cool. That's finally melting from heat because that heat's building up, not getting out too much except through these areas up here. Once we get all this built, we'll just insulate the whole thing so that the heat doesn't get out. Oh, so we've got this built, so we need to tell it what it needs to filter, and I've forgotten. So we tied the output into polluted water, so we want this to be clean water. So just clean water. So now it's just saying it needs its power, and it'll be done. Which we never did give it. So boop. Kick that up to 7. So I'm pretty sure once pumps are out of water, they stop running. Yep. Well, pipe blocked, not that it's out of water. And printables. Shove vole eggs. We had that opportunity earlier too. They have to eat regolith though, and that's on the surface, so I think we'll print them. Then we'll tell this to store egg. Refined metal organic. Critter egg under C. So we'll tell it to store shove vole egg and pufflet eggs. Just all the stuff we don't want to hatch. And drecklet eggs. So we'll store all those. They'll eventually break, and then we can bring the raw egg over here. So cooking ingredient. We don't have raw egg yet. So we better tell these guys to make omelets whenever possible so that raw egg can be delivered somewhere. Oh, but we can't tell them to because we don't have raw egg to tell them you can cook it. So the recipes only unlock as you get the stuff available to you to cook it. That's still not fixed, so we better bump that up to 8. Just need this one last thing built to finish that off, because it has power, it has inputs. Just need one thing left to build that. So, if we would not have dumped this into a vent, we would have backed up the system because you create more polluted water than you do clean water. Since I already am pumping water out of this to clean, I figured I'll just dump it right in here, and then I won't have to worry about it backing up and finding something to do with this water. So keep that in mind if you try to make it a closed system. It will overflow, and then they won't be able to use their toilets because the polluted water will back all the way up, and they won't be able to use the toilets if there's no outlet for the polluted water they create. That has infected our water with there it is. It's right there on the screen. Food poisoning germs. Food poisoning germs are only dangerous if you ingest them by using it to make food. And we don't make anything that needs water. So, I don't know if you can tell, but the clean water coming out of here also has food poisoning germs in it. I don't know where it says that, though. So this is just the pipe. There's no surface germs on the pipe. But unless they changed it, if you clean polluted water with germs in it, the germs stay. But we've put all this water into closed systems, and it's only dangerous when ingested. And they don't actually have to drink water. I mean, they can in the water cooler. But the only way to get water into the water cooler is through a pitcher pump. So I'm not worried about that. Okay, it has run out of space. Run out of water. And we have not finished our research, so we'll dig that out. And now it has access to water again. So we're not really efficiently cooling this air anymore because there's not much water. So that air is now 36 degrees. So that's making our base hit the yellows too. So we really do need to address heat in our next video. Okay. So we are pumping now. We are completely backed up on places for that clean water to go. So it's not... Ooh, that doesn't look good. We've encountered... Ooh. Things are not looking great, guys. What is happening? We've confused our water somehow. So what we're going to do is, since we're not pumping any water out of here anymore, we're going to break those two tiles. We're going to break those at level 9 and see if that fixes our issue. Okay, yep. So we're just kind of confused about where it should be coming from, where it should be going. But now that we've taken that away, we fixed it. So, whew, that could have been bad. So on that point, we've fixed our water systems so that we should always have some clean water for the foreseeable future. We fixed our oxygen systems so that we wouldn't run out of water to go with those. And we got our Atmo suit set up, so pretty productive video. Thanks for joining us, and come see us again soon.